Hello and welcome back. So in this video we are going to get the card component, the greeting card component working of our game. So just to remind you, if we press play, we've got the find the scattered holiday decorations, the music's playing in the background. I click on all the things, they play a sound, they go to the correct spot. This should be the last one. We've got that all found message coming up, so it plays a sound effect. So what we're going to do now is, I'll just stop that playing, is when the game finishes, we're going to put a all found message up here. And we're going to do that with widgets, so similar to where we got the instructions to appear up here. We're going to have a next button, which will take us on to the greeting card component. We'll remove that all found that appears up here. We also might stop the audio just before we play that sound effect. Alright, so let's start by putting the all found in. So to do that, there's a few ways you could do everything, but I'm going to do it by creating a new widget. So go to your content drawer, go to your widgets folder, right click and go user interface widget blueprint. And it's going to be a user widget, and I'm going to call it W_next, and double click on it to go into it. First thing we always want to do is put a canvas down. So I think it's actually, is it panel? Yeah, it's under panel, and drag a canvas. So that's sort of our box to put everything in. Then we are going to put a text box on there. So just drag text and place it over the top. Here's our text block. I am going to just rename it and call it all found text, or TXT will do. I'm going to drag it sort of down here. I'm going to put this anchor, so this flower, at the moment it's going to measure where it appears from the top left, but it's probably better if we measure it from maybe the middle top, I reckon. So anchor, I'm going to anchor it to there. That's probably pretty good, and I might move it a bit closer to the top. You can put it where you like. I am going to change the words text block into all found, exclamation mark. There it is there. I am going to make it bigger, so just over here change the size. It's probably pretty good. I'll make this box fit it a little bit better as well, and I'm actually going to make it the full width of the screen, and then I'm going to put it on centered. So if we scroll down to justification, align center, so that's pretty good. So we've got that done, so that's our all found text. Now, actually I might make that a tad smaller, I reckon. That's probably good. Now underneath there, I want to create a next button. So I'm going to grab the button, drag it on the canvas panel. So I've got a button here, and I am just going to call it next button, BTN will do. Hang on, where is it? Oh, there it is. It's right up there in the corner. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'll undo it. I'm just going to see if I can drag the button itself. It's a little bit tricky, so what I might do is just change the position of it out a bit. Put it to, that's better now, I can actually grab it. So put it down here underneath. I'll make it bigger. So I'm going to change the color of this button, so make sure you've selected it and go to background color and choose whatever color you like. I kind of like a sort of a bluey, aqua-y sort of color. That will do. Click OK. There is my button. And now I want to put the words next on it. So to do that, I need a text box. Now I'd like to sort of link it to the button, so I'm going to make it a child of the button. So rather than putting it on the canvas panel, I'm going to put it directly on top of the button. So grab a text, put it down there, and I'm just going to click on that text block, and rather than call it text box 105, I'm just going to put next text on it. And then I'm going to, it's just good practice, it doesn't really matter what you call it, scroll up. I'm going to change the words text block to next. I might put a little greater than sign on it, and I'm going to make the text a bit bigger. Alright, in fact I might put that also on center. Now what you'll see is if I click on the button and if I move it, the text comes with it. So that's the beauty of putting it as a child of that. Otherwise you'd have to position them separately and it could get a bit messy. So that's our next button. That's all looking good. So I'm just going to hit compile and save it. So now we want to actually display that widget when the game ends. So I'm going to close this widget, and hopefully you can remember where we finished the game, and that was in the BP game mode base. So I'm going to my blueprints folder, going to the BP game mode base. Okay, so we're in the increment score function in the BP game mode base. We've got our print text here, so I'm going to delete that node because we're going to replace it with our widget. I'm going to delete that one. What I also might do is before we play our final sound, I might actually stop the Peaceful Winter audio. So I'm just going to drag one here. I'm just going to type in stop, and now our audio A Peaceful Winter component comes up. So that's good. So I'll just drag that down. Oops. Drag this one down here, make it a bit neater. So we're going to stop the audio, the music playing. We're going to play the sounds. And now what we're also going to do, so that's the success sound. Then after that, we are going to remove all the widgets. So currently we've got the widget that says find the scattered holiday objects, or whatever it says. So first thing we need to do is add a remove all widgets, because otherwise that one will remain there. So that's done. If you want to, you can compile and save and test that all that works. It's probably a good idea to do it. I'm going to continue on, but by all means, if you want to pause the video and do that and just check that it's all working as intended, that's probably a very good idea. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new widget. Create widget. And you select the class down here, it's WNext. So it's good, create WNext widget, and now we are going to add it to the viewport. There it is there. Alright, so I am going to compile. Whoops, we got an error. Whoops, I've got to drag that onto there. Missed that one. Compile, that's looking better. Save. I'm just going to put my headphones on so I can hear what happens when I play my game. My headphones have seen better days. There we go. Alright, so close that. Press play. Find the scattered holiday objects. My sound is playing. Click on all the hidden objects. I think this is the last one. All found. Next. Now, see how that's all the way over there? I can tell you why that is. We'll fix that. I think this text is a little bit big too, so, but it worked. The music stopped, the sound effect played, so it's working as intended. I'll just press escape to get out of that. I am just going to now edit my widget. And I got so carried away with making it that I didn't set my anchor point to the right spot. So if I want these two to sort of be one under the other, I need to have the anchor point in the same place. So that was actually a really good indication of how you can mess things up with your anchor points. I'm also just going to make the fonts, a little bit smaller on each one. I think that looks a bit better. I'll just quickly play it again. Just check I'm happy with it. There we go. Still I'm not that happy with the text, but it'll do for now. But you can see they're now one under the other, so I fixed that problem. So that's something. If I click on this, it doesn't do anything because we haven't set it up yet. All right, so I'm going to press escape. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to have somewhere for it to go, right? So we want to make, there's always more ways of doing things. You can always do them lots of different ways. But I am going to create a new level. So I'm going to go to my levels folder. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to go level. And I'm going to call it, I might call it holiday card. There we go. And if we go into it, save selected, it is blank. There's nothing there. That's exactly what I want. So the Christmas card components, we are going to make a widget for that. So just like we made these widgets here, and we're going to attach that widget to the holiday card level. And when the game is over, we're going to switch it to the holiday card level, which will display the widget. So that level is actually always just going to be black, unless you want to add your own scene to it, which you are welcome to, but I'm not going to in this one. So I'm going to go to widgets, right click, user interface, and I'm going to go to widget blueprint, user widget, and I'm going to call this W_card. Double click on my blueprint. So here's my widget blueprint. Like before, the first thing we're going to do is drag a canvas panel on. So it gives us our screen to work with. Then you can do all sorts of things. So you can actually set this up however you like. But I'm going to start by putting an image down in the canvas panel. I'm going to call it background. And I am going to make it span the whole panel. I'm going to set the anchor to be the whole panel. So no matter the size of the screen, it should just display that whole box. So that's good. So now I'm going to put my text in, just put it on the canvas panel. So we've got our text. Now white text is not going to work. I'm just going to put it all zeros to black. And I'm going to get it to say happy holidays to you from us. That's good. I'm going to move it. Whoops, moved the wrong thing. Undo, click on the text. It's because the box is very small. There we go. I'd like it centered, so I'm going to make it the whole width and put the alignment to center. And I'm also going to put the anchor flower into the top in the middle. And maybe drag it just down a tad. Now, I think I'm going to want it bigger than that, and I'd also like a different font. So I'll just make this font bigger first, and then I'll show you how to make a font. The other elements I'm going to add to this is I'm going to add some actual photos that we've taken throughout the year, or Christmas photos like in this case, but it can be any holiday photos. You could make a birthday card this way if you wanted to. So I'm going to drag another image in, and I'm going to call this one photo 1. And I'll just make it bigger and put it approximately where I want it to be. We'll resize it properly later. Put another image in here. I'll call it photo 2. Put it over here. And then we're also going to have a couple of buttons at the bottom, but for now, let's just worry about getting all these elements in. So We can't really do all this here, so I'm just going to hit compile and press save. Actually, before I get all these pictures and the font working, what we might do is attach this widget to the level and then get the, when you click on the next button, for it to load that level. So I'm going to close this and we'll have to come back to this. So we're now in the holiday card level, and you'll remember that it's all black here because we haven't got anything on it. We're going to go to, whoops, wrong one, the level blueprint. So click on this one here, open level blueprint. And at the beginning, we're not going to use the event tick. I'm just going to delete it, but you can leave it there. It doesn't hurt anything. As soon as this level loads, we're going to load that widget. So I'm going to drag a node here. First of all, it's exactly what we did before. Just in case, I'm going to remove all widgets to start with, just in case there are some that's still going. In fact, there probably still will be one there. It'll be the one at the next button, so we're going to remove that one. Then we're going to create a widget, and it's going to be our W card widget. And then we are going to load it to the viewport. Oops, not load viewport. What is the command? It is add to viewport. If I just type in viewport, does it find it? Yes, it does. Add to viewport. And if you remember last time, we also need to drag that in. So we create the widget, we're adding it to the viewport, we hit compile and save. So if I close this one and if I press play on this level, there we go. Happy holidays to you from us. The reason it takes that time to resize it down is it's detecting the size of my screen when it does that. So that's that. So that level will now display that widget. Now what we need to do is tell it at the end of our game to display that widget, well, to display this level, to run to this level. Okay, so to do that, we want to, when the player has clicked the next button, to open this level, which is called holiday card. So go to the content drawer, go to our widget, and we're going to go to this next one, W next, and we're going to click on our next button. And if you scroll right down to the bottom, there's an on clicks, there's an on press, there's an on released events. So let's start with the on released button, and it will give us a node to work from. So what we're going to do is we are going to open a new level. So you go open level by name, and you have to actually type that level in. So we'll just double check what we called it. We called it holiday card, one word, capital H, capital C. And we will hit compile and save. And fingers crossed this will work. To close that, I'm going to go to my Christmas game level or my holiday game level, and I'm going to hit play and I'm going to test that it works. Alright, so here's our all found. Here's our next button. Let's click it and see what happens. Yay, that worked. So set up the functionality. Now we just need to make the card look pretty. I'll press escape out of that. That's all right. I will go to, actually, I'll just zoom out of there in case that's annoying you. I'll search for player start and snap view to object. That looks a bit nicer, but that's just for us to look better. You don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set up a folder. Right click, new folder. I'm just going to call it card assets, and in this folder I'm going to place a font, and I'm also going to add the images that I want to put in here. So these are going to be my personal images. You find your own. You can download fonts from the internet. I know Google have a number of free fonts that can be good to use, but I'm going to use a special one that's a Christmas font. just grabbing the URL. I found it on the font website. Now this particular font is only free for personal use. So if you're planning to do something else with it that's not personal, I wouldn't use it. But I just searched for Christmas fonts in Da Font. I might have even just done it in Google and it came up. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to hit download and you'll see it says free for personal use. I might just save it in my Unreal Projects folder. And I might just make a folder called Card Assets. Save it in there. I've got that. If you wanted to, you could put a credit to Da Font to this particular person, Yon type studio in your game as well. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go to that folder. So it's in Unreal Projects, Card Assets. So it's a zip file, so I'm just going to right click on it and I'm going to extract it, extract all. So that has given me mariachristmas.ttf. That's what it looks like. So we're going to import that font into Unreal. So I've just copied that and I'm going back to Unreal and I'm going to go right click, import to game card assets. I'm going to navigate to where I put that. So put it under card assets, Maria Christmas, there it is. Would you like to create a new font asset using the imported font face as its default font? Yes, I would, thank you. So there it is there, so that is good. I will save everything. So now when you go into your widget, you should be able to change your font to, where does it say Roboto? There we go. There is a new font. And the sizing is not quite right anymore, so I will make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so that's good. I'll save that, compile that. So the next thing is we want to add some images. So I'm just going to pause my video here while I go grab some photos that I want to use. So I found a couple of photos I'm going to use. These are just personal, well, it was Christmas we were celebrating, but holiday photos. So our parrot, one of our parrots, and my husband and I at Christmas, and one of our dog at Christmas as well. So we're going to use those. So we will need to load them into our project. So if we go to our content drawer, go back to our card assets folder, right click, we're going to import to game card assets. Going back to that card assets folder, I'm just going to choose both of them by holding down Control and clicking open. So now they're in our project. I'm just going to file, save all. So it's now saved them. There they are there. Now back to our widget. So click on our photo and then we should see a place we can actually change what is in our, what that's showing. So you'll find it in the appearance section under brush, and just click on the image there and you'll see it come up, or you can type the name of it and it will find it. So we'll put that one there. Now you see it squashed it a little bit, so I need to sort of get the proportions right. You can change the size X, size Y here, so if you actually know what the original size is, you can do some math to get it exactly right. I probably should also crop this photo. No one really needs to see our ceiling, but it's just for demo purposes, so I'll just sort of leave it like that. That's good enough. That's probably fine. And now for photo 2, once again, I'll change that image to be Holidays 2. That one's actually not too bad as is, but you can, change the numbers so you're happy with it. I'm going to anchor this one on the right-hand side. Maybe just top right, I think, and that one's top left, so I think that would be okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is add a couple of buttons at the bottom. But if you want to, you can compile and save and check that it all works. I won't do that right now. So I'm going to add a button to my canvas. And I might add a second one. So I've got two buttons. One of them I'm going to name credits, and one of them I'm going to name exit. So we've got our two buttons at the moment, they're all the way up here. So let's go to the credits button. I'm just going to make it bigger so I can grab onto it. Probably don't need it that big. I'm going to drag it down there. And I'm going to change the color of it. Now I can go to the other button and actually copy, you could copy and paste the actual color. In fact, I might just copy this one for now. Click OK. And I'm going to grab the other button as well. Put it down here. Now I'm going to make this one exactly the same color. So I'm just going to go to background color, and I'd already pasted the hex linear, copied it by using Control C, and I pasted it in there, so it's the same color. I'm going to make the size the same, so I'm going to copy the size X, paste it in here, so Control C, Control V, and same with the size Y, Control C, Control V, just drag it down. You can also look at the positioning, and so that one has the Y position of 916, and I'll just put that one with the Y position. Oh, that's got the same one, so that's fine. You can fiddle around with the sizes, do whatever you like. I should probably have that aligned there. Yeah, but anyway, you get that looking exactly how you want it. Now we're going to put some text on them. So remember, once again, you just drop the text on the credits, drop the text on the exit button, and we're going to write credits text, and I will change the words text block to credits. I'll make the font a tad bigger, 48 is good, and we'll grab the text box for this one, exit text, and change the text block to exit, and I'll change the font size to, I think it was it 48, just check that it's the same as the other one. Yep, I think that's all fine. Yep, that looks good. So now we've set up these buttons, now we actually have to get them working. So with the credits section, and I won't step you through this, you don't have to have a credits button if you don't want to, but I was going to get that to be a screen that takes you, like, says where you got your font from, says where you got all the graphics from, and so forth. So that takes you there. It could also play music if you want. In fact, this should play music too, so I'll set that up shortly. You can do all those things, and then you could have another link that takes them back to the card, something like that. So you should know how to do that already, so I'm not going to show you how to do that in this tutorial, but I will show you how to set up the exit button. So the exit button will just close your game, or close your project. So click on the exit button, make sure you got the button and not the text, and once again I'm going to go on released, press that plus, takes you here, and I'm just going to drag a node, and I'm just going to type in quit. You can go quit game, and that should just work. So if we go compile and save and close it, I'll hit play and let's run through it. I haven't set these, I don't think I actually did set, I didn't look at the anchor points for these, I don't think, so we'll have to look at that. But we'll just check. Oh, and these are overlapping too, so I didn't do a great job on that. You'll see if I make the screen wider, it's actually not looking too bad. So yeah, but you can play around with your anchor points and get that right. But if we go exit, it exits out, so that's good. Let's go have a look at our widget again. Yes, I set those, I didn't even change them. I would probably anchor them to the bottom right, I think. And same with that one. That's probably going to look a bit better. The other thing I'll do while I'm here is I'm going to close this one and I'm going to go into our card level, levels, and I'm going to go to holiday card, and I'm going to go to the level blueprint. And we're going to make it play some sound. However, I don't think we need to get that sound from the BP game mode base. So I'm just going to close that momentarily, and we're going to go back to our blueprints folder, BP game mode base. So we've got audio A Peaceful Winter here. We are going to add another audio component, just audio. So there we go. And the other music I downloaded earlier was This Is Christmas. Now I'm going to have to convert that one to a WAV, so I'll quickly open that in Audacity. Okay, just going to open that file. This is Christmas, so just like we did before, I'm going to export it as a WAV. Scott Holmes, This Is Christmas, save. Okay, close that, don't need to save it. So now audio, I'm just going to rename it. Oops, let's try that again. This is Christmas, and I'm going to change, we haven't imported it to our project yet, so we better do that. So we go to audio, right click, import to game/audio, and I put it in the SFX folder. This is Christmas.wav. There it is, right click on it, create cue. Hopefully you remember doing all this last time. I'm just going to call it This is Christmas cue. Save all. And now we've got it in there, we'll need to tell it which sound we want. This is Christmas cue. There we go. So we'll do that. We'll compile and save. The other thing we need to do is we need to make sure autoplay isn't on, because those will have them both playing. So we don't want to auto activate it. So make sure you do that. Otherwise you'll have them both playing at once, and that would not be good. Save. And the other thing we want to do is we want to put it on looping in the sound cue. So This Is Christmas cue, click on that one and check the looping box, save. We'll close that. So we've got our audio cue here, This Is Christmas. We've got our audio component, This Is Christmas. So now we're going to go to our level, our holiday card level, which is already open behind there. Here we go. We're going to go to the level blueprint, and we're also going to play sound. Now that sound is in the game mode base, so we're actually going to have to cast to BP game mode base, and we need to get the game mode. And as the BP game mode base, we are going to get the sounds. This get audio. This is Christmas, and we're going to need to feed that into here. I think I've chosen the wrong component, haven't I? Let's just drag this out and let's go play. Let's just play. Now this should be linked to there. That should be linked to there. Let's just tidy all that up. Alright, so let's compile and save and close all that, and let's have a look and see how it goes. So I'm going to play from our Christmas Game 2 level, press play. Okay, let's see. Next. The music's playing, so that's good. And our buttons look in a better spot now because I anchored them better. If I make the size of the screen smaller, the buttons are actually great. That's funny, you could cut my poor husband out of that photo. Maybe I should have anchored these to the same side too, but that's okay, we can live with that. So I will show you in the next video maybe how to hook up the credits one. That's probably enough for this video, so I will stop it here.